Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Mr.BuyTheDip back here with another video. Let's talk about tariffs. Let's talk about this drop-off in the market. Everything dropped Wednesday. I want you to look on your portfolio and realize NVIDIA dropped Wednesday, Apple dropped Wednesday, right after closing, right? Thursday opening was very rough. There's a reason behind this. There was some news that was released. It's been a couple days. I've been doing a lot of research. I've been doing a lot of information that I've been gathering from different resources, and I get the whole game, okay? There are certain stocks that won't be affected, right? Or that won't matter that much, right, because of this news. But stocks that are importing goods consistently, NVIDIA, for example, NVIDIA gets stuff from Taiwan, South Korea, Walmart, Costco does it from China a lot. So let's look at what happens to Costco even when this news has been released, okay? People who are smart, right, they're going to sell off at these times because they realize that this is not the time to be invested in some of these companies. And you see a big drop down, okay, from Wednesday to Thursday. Now, I want you guys to realize what tariffs are. Tariffs are taxes imposed on imported goods. So USA imposes tariffs on goods from China. Okay, what this means is it raises the cost of Chinese goods for American buyers. So prices are higher for Chinese businesses, Chinese stuff, and American buyers are going to have to pay more for those products. This is a strategy a lot of people in different countries use. For example, China does it, Korea does it, right? Taiwan does it. They do that with American products, with Apple, right? They do that with some of the GPUs we make, some of the laptops we make, some of the tech stuff we make, right? They do that with us. So what President Trump did is he reversed that, and he made kind of the same move on them, and he was like, okay, we're gonna raise your tariffs as well if you want to raise ours. And this idea is to basically make foreign goods more expensive. If there are taxes being imposed on China, right, those products are going to be more expensive in the USA. And what that's going to do is that people are going to buy American products instead. Okay, you have to think like a businessman. Let's get real smart and real strategic when I'm talking about this, okay? Money and the importance of boosting their economy is exactly how countries think. This is exactly why they set tariffs. We see the drop-off. We see the effect the market has. I mean, my portfolio has been absolutely dumped since last week, which is fine, okay? If you are a long-term investor, that's okay. If you're a day trader, swing trader, hey, you're in a whole different lane, okay? I am a midterm to long-term investor. I will day trade here and there, okay? But the thing about this drop-off is actually not, I'm not too worried, because I know it's an opportunity for me. If I can survive this drop off, and just buy more precisely, okay, you should be just fine. Okay. Now let's talk about long-term effects. Have an investor mindset. Okay, a smart investor or a businessman looks at the longevity of their company. If you're a crypto investor, right, I don't know too much about that, right? I'm more of a stocks guy. I'm more of a long-term ETFs, short to mid-term stocks type of guy, right? Tariffs can hurt in the short term, right? We already see that. We see the tariffs hurting us. Last week, everybody was panicking, market dumped, panic sold, right? But here what you have to realize, they might cause prices to rise, okay? This is like regular goods that, for example, are coming in from China. Those prices are going to rise. Now, trade tensions will spike. Trade war, recession, financial crisis, blah, blah, blah. People are going to say these things, okay? What do you do? What do you do when specific during this time, okay? I say you buy more. If we have $1 billion company down 4.6%, we have a tech giant in the AI sector down 7.35%. What are you doing? Are you not buying? I am, right? Now, why are you buying? Because we're understanding that these short-term losses is going to be profitable in the next 3, 5, 6 years. Okay, in long term, they can boost domestic industries if done right. If manufacturers from China is more expensive, what are big companies going to do in America? Well, they're just going to set up their own big factory in Texas or let's say somewhere else, right? And they're going to open more job opportunities. If you're a blue collar, Okay, if you just like to work and you like to build your wealth through just working, being in the workforce, or driving trucks, okay, those jobs are going to open up even more, because what's going to happen is businesses are going to be almost certain that we want to start our own manufacturing site. We wanted to start the cycle ourselves instead of having to go through this whole tariff situation, importing goods situation. And if that happens, what happened is we have more investors. Believe it or not, we're going to get more investors. We're going to get more workers. And then people are going to spend more money. And when you spend more money, the economy is going to be more stable, and we're going to even out. GDP is going to be right where it needs to, right? But that's more technical stuff. Let's just talk about what caused the spike down, okay, which was tariffs. I'll just explain to you guys what that means. Trump basically raised tariffs on China. So all products that come in from China and are willing to be sold here are going to be more expensive. This is the same strategy China is using, South Korea is using, Taiwan is using on American business products. An iPhone in China, you probably got to break an arm and leg to get an iPhone in China. You know why? Because they know that an iPhone compared to a phone down there is not as competitive, right? So they just make one price way higher, which just forces everybody else to get the cheaper local phone, okay, which is probably an Android, right, that is somewhere there. And you know, that's a strategy that works. It's been working for years and years and years. But Trump, we have a billionaire in office, and when he makes these decisions, these are strategically just getting to the money. Okay. Now, when we're talking about investors who understand this can buy during the dip, I mean, if I just say my name, right, you guys know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy, because this dip is not, it's not somewhere where Walmart is going out of business, Nvidia is doing bad on their revenue, Nvidia is doing bad selling their AI chips. No, this is not a drop-off because of businesses doing bad. This is a drop-off because of markets being fearful of not knowing where this change can take us. But if you're a long-term investor, you know how the market can recover. I mean, did we recover from 2008? Yes. Did we recover from 1930 when those crazy tariffs were performed and the Great Depression was, lined up for us? Yes, we eventually are going to recover, but you have to be very smart in what you're buying. As you see my portfolio right now, right, I'm just adding more money into things like Walmart. I mean, I waited the longest to add money in Walmart because I understood that I wasn't buying the stock at $100, and good thing I didn't. I was so close to buying this at $100, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait, be patient, because this stock can run up to honestly $200 in the next 8 to 10 years, okay, easily. Okay, but what you need to realize is down weeks and down months like this that we're going to face, these are just buying opportunities. Okay, you have to keep picking up those prices where you see 83, pick it up, 87, pick it up. You see that big dip to 89, 88, keep picking it up. And dollar cost average. What does dollar cost average means? Just buy when the stock is lower than your average cost per share. My position in Walmart is $89. Your goal is to make this position as low as possible so you can make the most money and reap those benefits later down the line. Okay. Now, key points. Tariffs is just taxes on imports to protect local industries. So taxes on Korea, China, South Korea, whatever countries, right, to just protect American businesses. Countries use them to balance trade and promote their own economy. Trump isn't just promoting our economy, okay, which I don't care what is going on, on the political side of things. All I care about is getting my money, making the money I need, and getting out. Okay, it may take a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but how you position yourself depends on you. Okay, as simple as that. If you want to make quick money, right, the stocks is not it. You got to get into meme coin, do some options trading, do some cryptos, right? Try to flip cryptos here and there. But this take technical, critical analysis where you have to realize what you're doing and you're throwing big money down. Okay, I will not throw $5,000, $6,000 in one crypto because I'm more of a stocks guy. If I want to throw that amount of money down, I want to do some research. I want to understand where my money is going. And if you're buying at a time where we have a dip because of market uncertainty, people don't know where these tariffs is going to lead us, and they're not really looking at the long term of the market, right? I'm going to buy at this dip because people who are misinformed and not as Sharp, right? They're missing this opportunity. You do not want to miss this opportunity. I mean, Walmart is going to go to 150, 160 in the next year or two. Okay, the only way you can play this out is buying consistently, but being safe when you're buying. If you have $1,000, do not buy all 1,000 of Walmart. Okay, you see Nvidia is attractive. S&P 500 is down to 533. I want you guys to see 533 last week is where I caught this at, right here. Okay, this, and then we see it down to 511. I mean, what are we doing, right? We're basically down on the S&P 500, which is wild. Okay, I mean, I've never seen this state. We're going back to these prices from last year. If you're not buying the S&P 500 at $510, do you have a brain? Okay, please ask that again over and over to yourself if you're not buying this at this price. If you're not buying Walmart at 83, 82, please ask yourself if you have a brain. I mean, you know, as honest as I'm being, okay, again, you have to make these decisions based upon your analysis. But my analysis say I'm buying the S&P 500, I'm buying Walmart. If you want to be more aggressive, instead of buying S&P 500, buy QQM, okay, or QQQ. QQQ, again, this is tech heavy stock. This is down as well. Honestly, if you want to buy QQQ, I would do that as well. $500, $600 in QQQ. Let's get a share. Let's get this going, right? This drop off is just as attractive as S&P 500 is. Okay, I want to get this as well. This is this is tech heavy. You're a young guy. You're young in high school, and you guys want to buy and load up some money into an ETF that's going to pay you more, and you're tech heavy. Buy the QQ or QQM. Okay, let's move on and just talk about my plays, talk about my position. Again, please do risk management. Do not just dump your life savings into any stock. Okay, at the end of the day, you need an emergency fund. At the end of the day, nobody can tell you what to do with your money unless you're smart enough to make certain decisions. If you make 10,000, I would only invest out of 10,000, 4,000, right? Keep 2,000 safe, and the rest would be for any expenses that may occur. Okay, but that's how I approach it. Right now, consistency is key, but my plays right: Nvidia, Walmart, S&P 500. I may add QQQ in there, okay, which is a tech heavy ETF, and I would love to add in that safer ETF, which has a dividend yield of 0.71, right? I believe the S&P 500 has a higher dividend yield. That's why I went with the S&P 500, which is true, okay, 1.42. So pick and decide what you guys want to do, right? But really make sure we're being critical. Look at substitute, Costco, TSM, QQQ. These are substitutes that are great, okay? If you don't like Walmart, go with Costco. You don't like NVIDIA, go with TSM. Taiwan Semiconductors. I mean, it's in the name. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. There's no need to panic. When they are in fear, that's when we buy, and that's where we make the money 2 to 3 years down the line. Okay, I want you guys to really be careful. If you're 18, 17, 19, 20 in college getting ready to invest, this is where the money is made, right? The American job market and stock market is going to recover better than ever. Okay, I want you guys to keep that in mind. And it's about consistency. You don't want to add $100 one month and just add $1 next month and say, oh well, stocks are not going to make me rich. You only have $101 invested. Okay, consistency is key. See you guys later in the next video. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.